Now that we finally know more about the OLED TVs announced at CES 2025, which one is the best for gaming? I think everything comes down to LG G5, Panasonic Z95B, and Samsung S95F. Yes, Samsung skipped the E, so we had the S95D. We were supposed to get the S95E, but because we didn't like the matte finish, Samsung decided to just go straight to the F. And yeah, that F is for us, for people who care about picture quality. Samsung says, you don't like the matte finish? Well, get the F, okay? What a bad idea, man. It's so terrible. I cannot believe that Samsung has the best panel. It is not even close. There is no argument. The Samsung S95F QD OLED. Let's just take a look at the numbers. By the way, link in the description of the video for all the sources. And shout out to all the content creators. I am looking forward to go to CES 2026. And hopefully I can say hi to all of them. Great coverage. Let's take a look. This is heartbreaking. This is truly, it's so sad. It's like unbelievable. Let's take a look at the numbers. This is the Display Guy YouTube channel. Check it out, link in the description of the video. He is interviewing a Samsung rep and asking him directly, what are the numbers? Tell me, what's the peak brightness, capabilities of the panel, and full screen brightness, which is very, very important, very interesting. So let's check that out. Let me get the volume here.
Display. Unlike other technology that might need a it kind of ties in with the HDR experience you alluded to. That's a 3% window.
Here's the brightness.
4,000 nits.
4,000 nits.
10%.
So 4,000 nits and a 3% window.
2,200.
10% window, 2,200 nits.
Nits and a full 100% full white over 440 nits.
440 nits full screen, of course. Let's get this very clear. You are not going to get that brightness out of the box with the Samsung S95F. It's not gonna happen, but that brightness should be there on the service menu. So that is like the full capabilities of the panel. They never give you that. That's okay, as long as it is there as a setting on the service menu. That is so amazing. QD OLED. So the brighter the better. There's no dilution of colors. The panel of the Samsung S95F is the best. There is no competition whatsoever. It is a clear winner. Now the problem is that Samsung decided to keep the matte finish. Why? The matte finish, it's just bad in every single way. Under lighting conditions, it looks like an office monitor. It's the best matte finish ever in the entire world, and they improved it. I understand that, but it's still a matte finish. The black looks washed out. And on top of that, we already have raised blacks with QD OLED. So it is like the worst possible combination. Why would you design a premium display, actually the best display in the entire world? Why would you design that to look, supposedly to look good or okay under suboptimal lighting conditions? That doesn't make any sense. You get the best display in the world to be enjoyed in optimal conditions. Otherwise, you get a cheap display. So the argument that regular consumers are going to prefer that because they usually have their TVs in the living room or something like that. Regular consumers don't care about picture quality. They just go to the store and get the biggest, cheapest TV they can get. That's gonna be an LCD with terrible picture quality. This is a display for enthusiasts, for people who care. And people who care about picture quality, they don't like a matte finish. Why are they doing this? Now, on top of that, the S95F has the One Connect box, which is terrible. The One Connect box, especially for PC gaming, it doesn't let you use NVIDIA DLSR or NVIDIA scaling. You cannot use the feature at all. So, for example, I want to get the 5090. That's a deal breaker. Basically, I cannot use the reason why I want to buy a 5090. I cannot even use that because it doesn't work. DLSR is a feature to get more pixels when you have the horsepower. You get that super powerful GPU, you're playing an older game or a game that's not very demanding, and you can get better looking than 4K. It's just awesome. You cannot use that because of the One Connect box, and you cannot delete the true 4K resolution, which is 4096 by 2160, which is completely useless. That resolution doesn't do anything good for you. It's 17 by 9 aspect ratio. And in some games, even when you select 3840 by 2160, you get stretching. So things don't look rounded. The wheel of a car is going to look oval. Very weird. And then sometimes you cannot fix that. Sometimes to fix that, you have to change to borderless mode. And if you do that, you cannot use HDR. So it is a mess. It's a problem. Not to mention that you could still have dropouts. You're just using your TV for gaming and boom, everything goes black. And it's a total mess. Total mess, the One Connect box. So Samsung could have the absolute best TV in the world. No question about that. Also, in this same video, you can see here that the capabilities of the panel goes up to 500 hertz. Can you imagine? I mean, how much would they charge for that display? Let's say 55-inch, $2,000. It would fly. People would buy that display because there's nothing would come even close. The brightness, the HDR impact, the colors, the 500 hertz, it would just be insane. Why is Samsung not offering the best when they could easily? They are basically destroying their own display, their own TV. Now, the saddest thing, actually, let me show you the 500 hertz claim here first. It was a picture here. Oh, here it is. 500 hertz. You can get 360, 500 hertz. Of course, you might think, well, for a TV, 500 hertz doesn't make any sense. I'm talking about something for gaming. They know gamers buy these kind of displays. I guarantee you, they do a 500 hertz 4K TV, and it's gonna fly off the shelves. Because especially for people who are used to a big display, you don't want to go down to a small monitor for gaming. It's a big downgrade in the experience, the immersion. The bigger the better. So yeah, it is just so much potential with this display. It is really sad. And Samsung likes this so much that they are actually putting that matte finish everywhere. Let's check out this video from FOMO. This is FOMO. Stop the FOMO. Check it out. Link in the description of the video. Let's check out this.
And look at the back. This brushed aluminum is unbelievable.
By the way, we're talking about OLED displays. This is something else. This is like micro LED. So imagine a mini LED TV, but the backlight, instead of being mini LEDs, is like micro LED. So you get that OLED-like contrast with the brightness of a mini LED. So this is gonna be an insane display. but the price is like a new car. This is like $25,000 for 77 inches, something crazy like that, or 83, I think. It's just gonna be absolutely insane. But this is a Samsung display, and look at the build quality. Just look at the back of this TV. I got the Samsung S95C, and the build quality was so terrible. That's another thing. Not to mention that part with the Samsung S95F, it has the same plastic back, and the sound of the TV was completely broken on the S95C, and people that have the S95D told me it is exactly the same. Basically, every time you have bass, the entire back of the TV is rattling, like. So you might think, well, Samsung doesn't have very good quality. The build quality of Samsung is trash. Well, look at this thing. It looks like a Ferrari. Of course, it's $25,000. It better does, because the S95C looks like this, and the audio in the back looks like this. But can you imagine a $25,000 TV rattling in the back and the audio being completely broken? Of course, you're not going to use the audio of the TV, but better don't include it. Don't even include audio. But if you're going to include audio, it needs to at least work and be usable. And it is not. So yeah, we're talking about OLEDs, but this sounds like an incredible display. Now the downside, it is not self-emissive. You have those micro LEDs in the back, giving you all the brightness and the perfect contrast, but there is a layer. It's not like self-emissive. It's not the real thing, is what I'm trying to say. It's not the micro LED, end game display, but it is more affordable. Like $25,000, $30,000, something crazy like that. So yeah.
Easily the best backing of any TV I've ever seen.
It looks like a Ferrari. So
first,
now let's check out
with 83-inch QD OLED. Wait, is that anti-glare? No, but yes it is. And you know why it's anti-glare? Because you loved it so much you couldn't have enough of it. They doubled down. Now it's everywhere. All their QD OLEDs are anti-glare. Look, this 85-inch 8K, guess what? Anti-glare. Vincent's so happy, he's smiling. I'm happy, we're all happy. Anti-glare for everyone. Get your pocketbooks out, everyone, because anti-glare is here to stay. And these little signs that says glare-free, almost every TV has it. So.
Why, man? Why Samsung ruined the entire lineup with a matte finish? It's just, yeah, it is like dead. Their entire lineup is dead. Of course, we are expecting the S90F to not be F and actually have a glossy finish. There's an article here I'm gonna share in the description of the video where they claim that they checked the S90F and it has a glossy finish, but it doesn't have 165 hertz, which I forgot to mention. 165 hertz, that's better than 144. You get better motion clarity, better everything. So yeah, unfortunately, it's the glossy one, but it doesn't have 165 hertz, probably because it has the same panel. Probably just a little bit more brightness than the S90D, and that's it. Most likely, it's just gonna be very similar. So not a real upgrade. But let's see. Actually, if that one has the full, if you can go to a service menu on the S90F and get 3000 nits or 2000 or something like that, then it will be great. Or get more full screen brightness, then that will be the TV to get. But unfortunately, it doesn't have the 165 hertz. Now here in this article, you see, this is the reason why we have that anti-glare. I don't know who wrote this article, but look at this. We hoped that Samsung would bring its anti-reflection technology to its cheaper OLEDs, but it didn't. The S95F and S90F still use glossy panels. Technology. Anti-glare technology. So this is the reason why we have this crap. Absolutely insane. I don't know. Yeah. this is not an enthusiast. The person who wrote this is not an enthusiast. Nobody that knows about picture quality thinks that the anti-glare is an awesome feature that all the TVs should have. No, okay? I mean, I would be okay if they had it as an option. I'm sure if they have as an option anti-glare, almost nobody would buy that. I would be interested to know the data, because there was a Samsung S95D version in Germany that was not as bright. So it's not like apples to apples comparison, but it was actually glossy. I would like to know what is the data on that, if people actually bought more of that. But the reality is most people don't know. They go to a store and you know, they listen to the advice of the salesperson there or something like that. Most people don't know about picture quality. Anyone that knows about picture quality don't like anti-glare because it's worse. It's objectively worse. It kills the sharpness of the display. It's gonna look less sharp. It's gonna look even less colorful. It's especially under lighting conditions. It's just bad, man. Absolutely terrible idea. Now let's go with the good news. You know, enough with the rant. Let's go with the good news. The LG G5 and Panasonic Z95A. This one, actually, they are looking the same. Let's see which one is. Okay, this is the Panasonic Z95B. Z95B. I was very negative with the LG G4. Very negative because I have an LG C1, and one of the things that I like the most about my LG C1 is the way the screen looks, even under lighting conditions. That was the reason why I bought an OLED, because it looks black and it has perfect blacks. Yes, you still want to turn off the lights, but it gives you the impression, even on a living room with some lighting conditions, it still gives you that contrast. It gives you the OLED impression. Now, I ended up getting two Samsung QD OLEDs that don't look black at all, and I learned to appreciate the advantages. But when it comes to the way the screen looks, the LG C1 is much better, and it's not even close. Now, I was very negative with the LG G4 because the MLA gives you that issue, the QD OLED issue. Now, it is not as bad. Actually, I would say it's not even close to the way QD OLED looks. But it's still not perfectly black. So I'm like, just to get more brightness, you're going to destroy what makes your TV the best. I never thought that was a great idea. Now, that doesn't mean the LG G3 and G4 don't look great. Of course they do. And you can definitely appreciate, you know, the higher brightness. No question about that. But I was very negative with the LG G4, and also there was other shenanigans. You know, the G3 didn't support, didn't have all the colorfulness in game mode, so they were always nerfing the brightness and the colors on game mode for some reason. So I was very negative about it. Now, the LG G5 actually removed MLA, not for the right reasons. They removed it because they're saying it was too expensive. They're just cheaping out. That's the reality. But that's okay. For whatever reason, I think it's a great idea. They removed MLA. So now the G5 is going to look as black as my LG C1. That is, in my opinion, the best screen coating, the best look. Just the way the screen looks when the TV is turned off. So if you're gonna have the TV in the living room, it's a no-brainer. It's just so much better than QD OLED. It's not even close. And it is now gonna be brighter because it has this new 4-stack OLED layer. Okay, now this is confusing. And when I watched this video the first time, I was confused. I was like, is this Panasonic different than the G5? Is the panel different? Because I see him in the presentation. This is Digital Trends. check it out, link in the description of the video, Digital Trends YouTube channel. So I was confused, like, because he keep mentioning RGB. He says, "This is an RGB," and I'm like, is this like true RGB, self-emissive, perfect blacks? Is this something new? Because it's all the time this mentioning RGB and on the slides too. So I was confused, and doing more of a search, I kind of have a better idea what they're trying to say, which is basically, you see this. Oh, this is kind of blurry. Well, here's the thing. This is what we have right now. Blue, red, blue, and where you see this red, it is red, yellow, green. So this is like a mixture of, it's a layer that has a mixture. So that is what's behind the subpixels. But you still have RGB, WRGB. You still have that. So you still have the W. So that's still going to wash out the colors. Now they're saying that this is improving, this wave, whatever this is, and you're gonna get better color saturation, more color gamut. That's great, but you still have the W. So this is not going to be as good as QD OLED when it comes to the colorfulness. But I think it is still great. And actually, depending on how close this can get to QD OLED, this might be the sweet spot. This might be the TV to get LG G5 or Panasonic Z95B, because you have the perfect blacks, so you don't have that issue that QD OLED has. Now it is brighter and it has a little bit better color, so it's not as washed out as before. So we just have to see if it actually gets close enough to QD OLED. Because at the end of the day, if you are an enthusiast and you care about this stuff, you're gonna turn off the lights. And when you turn off the lights, then QD OLED, it just looks absolutely amazing. But now I do have to say that even on a dark room, the blacks are still lifted, because I have a 65-inch S90D and S90C, and I tested the S95C too. You have raised blacks even on a black room. Let's say you have a window, you open the NVIDIA control panel, like, I have a high contrast theme on Windows. For example, I do this, open the NVIDIA control panel. All the lights are off, completely off. And I do this, for example. This doesn't look black. It doesn't look perfectly black like it does with my LG C1. The blacks are better on the LG C1, and the blacks will be better. The contrast will be better on the LG G5 and on this Panasonic Z95B. It will be better. No question about that. I cannot, you see, I was skeptical about it. I'm like, is it a placebo effect? But now I am convinced. I am convinced the blacks on the QD OLED are not. The thing is, if you have a fully black screen, yeah, it's black. No problem. But as soon as you have any light in the room, the screen lights up itself. Basically, there is no way you can see the screen and it looks black, because as soon as you have light, enough light to be able to see the screen, it no longer looks black. So it is black, but it's like a paradox. You cannot see it black. So the brighter the TV gets and the brighter the scene is and the brighter the room is, you're losing that perfection on the blacks. Now, this is something that I was doubting myself constantly. I'm like, is it placebo? It's there, man. It is there. The blacks are not the same. So in my opinion, if the LG G5 can just get that better, just a little bit better color saturation, being brighter, over 2000 nits, and it's like 2200 nits or something like that. Let's see at the end, with accurate settings and all of that, Let's see what we can get when it comes to brightness. I don't think it's gonna be as good as the S95F. But if it can get just a little bit better color with that screen coating, 165 Hertz, the best settings. LG has the best settings and calibration controls. I've never had a Panasonic, so maybe Panasonic is at the same level. But LG is very, very good when it comes to the settings. So it has G-Sync, it supports G-Sync, FreeSync, and all of that. It's a very, very solid TV when it comes to the firmware updates and everything. So right now, if you ask me, if I had to get one of these TVs, I would say wait for the S90F to see if you can get, to see what brightness can you get on the service menu, basically. If you can get 2000 nits peak brightness and 300 nits full screen, that's the TV to get, in my opinion, because it's gonna be cheaper, brighter, QD OLED colors, no question about that. Now, if it's still the same 1500 nits, 200 nits full screen brightness as the S90D, then the best TV would be either the G5 or the Panasonic Z95B. The cheaper one is the one I would get. Now, the Panasonic is looking very, very, very strong, very, very, very good, because the audio of the TV is significantly better than anything else. It has cooling on the back. So here in this video, we can see on the back, it has cooling. Oh, this is like to showcase the airflow. It has some vents and probably even a fan. I'm not sure if it has a fan. Yeah, it has fan, natural fan that is going to cool down the panel. So it has active cooling. So that's gonna give you a brighter TV, most likely. That's gonna give you a brighter TV. It's going to last longer. It's gonna be less likely to burn in. So Panasonic, best audio. It has the active cooling. The build quality is fantastic from what I can see on the videos. And the settings are looking pretty good. And when it comes to calibration out of the box, Panasonic has a very good reputation. So this might be this might win the TV of the year, you know, the competitions that they do and all that stuff. I hope the S95F doesn't win anything because, yeah, man, it's just terrible. Samsung is destroying the best TV in the world, basically. There's nothing comes even close. So in my opinion, most likely, this is gonna be the best TV, the Panasonic Z95B. I was expecting Panasonic to come with a QD OLED. I was like, Samsung is gonna come with a matte finish, but hopefully Panasonic uses the same coating, uses the same QD OLED panel. They keep it glossy, and they're gonna laugh at Samsung because they're gonna win with their own technology simply by just having a glossy. It's gonna be the best TV in the world. But they decided to go with the LG panel, and yeah, that's not the best in my opinion. It would be better if it was the QD OLED, but this one has the advantage of the blacks with the screen coating. So yeah, that is my take. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. We still have to hear from other brands to see what's going on. I have to say, man, before we finish the video, I wish, and I actually commented on this, commented on the video. See if we can get. They have the same picture. That's why I don't know which one is which. I have to say, I was a little bit disappointed with the display guy here, man. I was expecting him because I watch his content. He's always, hammering down on the matte finish. I was expecting him to ask the Samsung rep, why a matte finish? It is not better. They know it is not the best. So I was expecting him to at least ask him, not to, hammer on him, but I was expecting him to ask, and I actually, posted that on the video. I was hoping you ask him about the matte finish. Amazing panel ruined with anti-glare. So some people defending the matte finish because they upgraded the matte finish. I don't care about the upgrade. It's bad. It doesn't matter how much they try to make it look okay. Anti-glare will never be better than glossy. Never. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with that, but I understand. You're there. You're asked. Maybe he's talking about with someone that's very high end in the company. I understand. But if I go next year to CES, I will ask them. If I have the chance to speak with a Samsung representative, can I record a video? And before recording the video, I'm gonna tell him, hey, I am going to ask you about the matte finish. Is that okay with you? Like, if you cannot talk about it, I don't do the video, and then I will report to you, hey, I asked them about the matte finish. They didn't want to talk about it. They didn't allow me to record it. They didn't want to know anything about it, okay? But I would definitely try to, and maybe he did. Maybe he did, and then he said, bro, let's not go there. We know that's not the best, but that's what Samsung wants to do because this or that. So it is what it is. We're not gonna change it. There's nothing. So yeah, maybe that's what happened. So we don't know what happened behind the scenes. I still appreciate that the display guy, he's always hammering on the matte finish, but I was disappointed to not see that question asked, because it's so important to make sure that all the Samsung knows that we don't like it. Okay? And probably they know, but they still don't care. They say F, and that's it. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions, and if you have any questions.